It's another Manscaped Mouth Experience Monday. Dude Brett and JD visit Jason as he blinds us with the new Woodinville 8-year. Find out what we thought on this episode of the Bourbon Hunters. Have you thought about supporting our podcast? Head on over to our website at www.bourbonhunters.com where you can by picking up one of our Kinsey drams or ordering from our partners over at manscaped.com. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to Mouth Experience Monday.
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 Going to Jason's in a Chevy-powered Dodge Ram.
Speaking of Ram, what are you guys doing tonight?
Chevy-powered?
So we've got Dude Pool, we've got
J.D. Fritches.
Brett Bryan.
and
Jason C.
Tyler's not
Yeah.
here. Big
Sorry,
surprise.
Tyler. At least
Big
there's no
surprise.
crickets.
No room at the table, Tyler.
No room at the table. All right, so we're back to the blind editions of the Manscaped Mouth Experience Monday. And summer's coming to an end, but it's still holding on, right?
It's going to be 90 next week.
Yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use Bourbon Hunters. Summertime and the trimming is easy. All right, so today, Jason has brought forth the blind.
That's right. I have something new that I got recently, and I thought it was definitely not on your list of stuff that you have done before.
Nice. What'd you bring us?
It's a blind. It's a blind.
Why don't you put it down your gullet and let me know?
That's a great word.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You can always tell when Jason's been off world
I know
traveling
that
'cause he comes up
that
with new
first
phrases.
nose.
Oh, yeah, that's that nose actually.
Granny Smith apple?
That's a very familiar nose.
I was going with pear a little more than Granny Smith apple, but I think fruit in
Apples-
general is.
apples and pears
It's like
is a
a
nice
crisp,
spot.
Yeah.
fruity fruit.
We like to say crisp fruit.
Crisp fruit.
Oh, yeah, that's got a definite.
There's a familiarity
There
to
is the
it.
Granny
Yeah.
Smith now, but I initially got pear.
There is a familiarity to it.
Ooh, was that cherry?
I think you're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. All right, I'm
diving in.
I'm only 2 sheets to the wind, so I'm going to go ahead and take a drink and try to get to 3.
All right, cheers, guys.
It's better to be 3-ply. Ooh,
Wait for that finish.
still waiting.
That's when the brown.
We're getting a lot of ASMR going on here.
It's
Right.
Like, it's like apple.
A lot of lip smacking.
It's like brown sugar coated apples, caramel apples,
Warm apple pie.
mapples. Did you say
Mapples.
maple pie?
Warm.
Me apple pie.
It's war.
Oh, there. I'm not kidding. Right there was apple pie.
Yeah.
It took a second because there's like a cinnamon, but it's that like baked cinnamon. There's a baking spice in there.
A lot of baking spices.
Yeah, I get the
It
baking
just
spice for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It just took a second to like marinate. You were like, wait, and I'm like, I don't get. Oh, there
It
it is.
could be because this is my first drink of the day,
Yeah.
Liar.
but I feel like this is a rye, and I could be wrong. Either that or my palate is a rye.
Hey-oh. Little wordsmith over there.
Love
Yeah,
it.
Something like that.
Love
Man,
it.
everybody's on their game tonight with the vocabulary.
Hey, you know what? We've been waiting to see you for so long.
I have a thesaurus.
I have a Rolodex of things I've been wanting to say when I was back in your.
Oh
your
my
presence.
God. So I have to do a quick segue. So something came up in a movie or a TV show or something that Jess and I were watching, and they said Rolodex. And she's like, what's a Rolodex? And I was like, get the fuck out now. Like,
Seriously,
Yeah.
leave.
she didn't
How'd
know
that
what a
make
roll.
you feel?
Well, stop dating 13-year-olds.
I know. I was like, every day there's more gray hair in my beard, and I just feel like more and more of a pedophile.
Point to the Brett where
She's legal for the
Jesus.
listeners. For the listeners,
Jesus.
she's legal.
point to the Brett where it
Every
hurt
day
the
goes
most.
by
Yeah.
where I just don't want to peek my head into a little
my
boy's
God,
restroom.
dude.
Fucking Brett, what the hell are you talking
I said
about?
I felt like one, not that I was one.
Jesus. Man, this is an R-rated episode. However, we're not
There's
going
nothing
that direction.
R-rated.
Talking about being a pedophile.
I said I felt like
I
one,
just said
not that
point
I
to the
was
Brett
one.
where it hurt the most.
Show us on the doll.
Show us on the doll where Brett touched you.
All right, guys. So as far as let's go through the stats here. As far as proof, what do you think?
I need to take another sip because
Me
there was
too.
initial like a little ethanol, and so I can't tell if that's higher proof or that was just the first sip of the day.
Yeah, God, I hope I'm not wrong on this, but everything about this is saying rye to me.
I feel like maybe 100 proof
Get a
is
little-
where it's coming through for me. It's not too high because that second one didn't have as much ethanol.
I was a little sub-hundo at like 96.
I get a
4
little
points in proof different from me. Like, come on.
Fuck, Brett. How are you getting that much heat, man? It's definitely only like 99.4
Is this like
or something.
Are these Prices Right rules? Like we can't go over? Or what's going on?
I'm getting a lot of black licorice on the
Ooh,
on
don't
the
say
finish.
that.
Ooh, some
on the
anise?
finish.
Really getting black licorice?
On the finish.
Can't
And it's almost in the breath. It's like as I breathed out.
If this is a rye, it's pretty sweet for a rye.
It's still more that baked apple for me. Like baked apple, baking spice, like the crust on top, like not the rim, but like the top of the crust of an apple pie, where they put like the cinnamon and sugar and stuff too in there.
Yeah, I'm getting all the baking spice and the apple and all that stuff too, but there's just for some reason I'm getting rye on the back end, and I don't know why. It might just be that.
I think you're pretty just sensitive to rye whiskey because
It could
be a high
It
rye
could be.
whiskey.
That's fine. Now, don't tell us what it is right away. Let us give our rating first.
Sure.
And then
Are you going to give it a 3?
And then it's not a blind where we have other things in store. If this was the first one, it would be a 3.
And so this is out of 5. I'm
This
assuming
is out of
correct.
5, always. We've never changed it ever.
I mean, hey, things change, right?
And welcome to the audience to Brett Bryan, who is our newest guest on the podcast. I'm going to go back into this again. And then if you want to give us a couple of hints on what it could be and let us guess before you
So this is not from Kentucky. I can tell you that.
not from Kentucky.
This is Tennessee whiskey.
Did
I'm
you-
flipping the
did-
table.
Did you? Did you think it was from Kentucky, maybe? Or did anybody have a thought?
I had no thought
I did not.
about location. To be honest, nowadays, unless it just tastes like something I just know for sure,
Yeah.
geography doesn't even come into my thoughts because unless it's maybe like a Texas whiskey or something that has some
Knows
sort of,
it now.
It's
kind of
given
little,
me
little far away. Do you guys get a little hint of a smoke note? A little bit of a smokiness, just faintly.
I do.
I
And
get like a fruit roll-up.
I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff that seems
Go from
super
smoke to
familiar.
fruit roll up.
I feel like I've had this
I
before.
make a little smoke. No, I get bananas. I get all bananas.
Smoked fruit roll
I
ups.
get all I get all bananas. Basically, okay.
BANANAS.
All right. So this is
I don't
I
get
get
the
smoke.
smoke. I don't.
I got a little.
I do on the nose.
a little bit of the char. Yeah.
a little bit.
It's not like campfire smoke, but it's more or less like smoke that came from the oven.
So this whiskey is a typical. This is the same mash bill that this distillery usually uses. But it's also this is their oldest release to date.
I think I know what this is, you fucker.
Can I throw a Hail Mary? Because
I think I know what this
it's giving me some like JT Melick vibes.
And now that I started thinking about it, and that's why it tastes familiar because I feel like I've had it recently.
You've had it recently?
Maybe.
Okay.
I have no clue. I enjoy it. Should I give a rating? Is it too early to give
Yeah,
a
give
rating?
the rating.
No, give your rating, man.
I like it. I think it's like a 3.8
I like
for
it
me.
too.
3.8, 3.9. I mean, it's cusping on a 4.
Yeah.
I'm at a 3.2.
I'm probably about a 3.5, 3.6.
Okay. So this is the no, we don't want to know yet.
I'm guessing.
Oh, we need to guess.
I know what this
Sorry,
is.
guys.
So it's on this barrel.
I know what this is, and you've had it.
Are you thinking the Woodinville?
It's
8-year?
Woodinville 8-year. I know it is.
It is Woodinville 8-year.
Nice.
Wow.
It all came
Good catch.
together when you had me smell it again.
Yeah.
It all came together because this is why it's interesting to me is they only use toasted barrels, and there's no char. They didn't char these; they just toasted, and so it took them a little bit longer.
Well, this was a light char.
the
Heavy
one,
toast, light char.
the one they sent to me
Oh.
said there was no char whatsoever. The flame didn't touch the barrel. The one they sent to me. Because it came with did you get the sheet with yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same one.
Did I get the proof? Yeah, I got the proof dead on.
Proof's 100.
I was close.
He was close at 94, 96. What did he say?
96.
They did
He had $100,
They
right?
did an
Right, Bob?
analysis, like a chemical analysis of this
Yeah.
as it was aging, and they were noticing that all the things that people like about bourbon were actually a little more amplified the way they finished this. But it was aging a little bit slower, or maturing a little bit slower, I should say. Aging at the same speed as everything else that ages, but maturing a little
Yeah,
slower.
makes sense.
Last week when we did that one on our show, I think I rated it second.
Yeah, we loved it last week. I even reached out to them and told them to listen to that podcast because we all gave it glowing reviews.
Yeah, so they tested 6 different barrels before this one was chosen. It's not the typical barrel they usually use to age their whiskey. This is a completely different one. They only made 30 barrels of it. This is a heavy toast, light char, 24-month open air season, which is a much longer of a seasoning time that we normally
What do they normally
see.
do, like 6?
It's usually 12 months, usually like a year.
Okay.
Oh, is it that long? Okay.
You normally see some longer, between 12 and 18 months. You see Michter's uses a lot of those long age seasoned barrels, which typically when I first tasted this, I'm like, this kind of reminds me of some of the younger Michter stuff I had, just because of that barrel char and that type of profile
I
it
originally
had.
thought the same thing when I first tasted it. I was like, this kind of tastes young. But then as I let it sit there and kind of open up in the glass a little bit and took more drinks and then kept nosing it and stuff, it almost like it opened up in my mouth too. Like it just started getting more and more notes, and they were all good notes. They were all things that I really enjoyed.
They used a chromatograph to measure the different types of compounds that were coming out of that specific
that's
barrel.
the word I was trying to come up with.
Yeah, and then they figured out the phenols and the tylosis and all those little parts of a barrel that you want to kind of come into your whiskey. That this was the barrel that was creating the most of it and giving it the most flavor and the most body and everything else in between. So
cool.
But yeah, I mean, I think that you're picking up the rye because it's a 22% rye mash bill. And, so I know you're sensitive to rye, so you're probably picking that up a little bit. But there also is Woodinville's known for having a little bit of a grainy character. I still think a little bit is there, but overall, I love the profile of this.
And you remember when we had them on the show a long time ago when Ariel was still there?
Yeah.
What was the thing that you said that you tasted? And they said, "Oh yeah, we used to have," or there just down the road there's an apple orchard. Remember, you tasted apples.
I did. That's right.
And she was like, "Oh, that makes sense because there's an apple orchard
down
right
there.
nearby that they think, I think that is near where their grains are grown or something like that."
Yeah.
And that plays into a little bit of the floral and fauna, which is, your surrounding environment, how it ages, and how it can impact your whiskey. You hear a lot of that terminology in Scotch and the barley and the different things that your environment can do, but even more so here in the United States a little bit.
And that was the first time you bringing that up to her on that episode, Brett, was the first time that I had ever even thought about that aspect of things. And she was like, she picked right up on it. She's like, "Well, that makes sense," and so she explained some of that too, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, Ariel is also the one who set us up with that VIP tour at Jim Beam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's treated us very well.
It's an interesting whiskey. I think it goes from caramel apple into cinnamon and then into kind of like this like smoky, almost like this smoked molasses, little hint of chocolate on the back end with that rye spice.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most interesting release they've done. I dig it.
I think I do too,
Yeah.
and we've done it now on 2 episodes recently, and I'm glad this was blinded because we didn't blind it last week.
Yeah.
So this was, but I was able to. I was as soon as you said that smokiness and how I'll go back to it, and I was like, this is familiar.
Yeah.
And I drank this for probably 3 days straight, getting ready for our episode, just so I could kind of connect to the bourbon a little bit more and taste it. And I immediately, once you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's what this is.
Good on you guys. That's awesome.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad that you did this because this kind of solidifies what I was thinking last week anyway and what I was already thinking. It's good. I really like this.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in on another Mouth Experience Monday. Later on this week, we will be visiting Jason again and doing an episode of Russell's, including what?
Russell's 2003, Russell's 15, the 2 single rick houses, Russell's 13, and a bunch of different
I can't stand up right now.
different unique warehouses, I think, throughout the Russell's portfolio.
Cool. All right. Well, join in, guys. I'm excited for that.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, See you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for great bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you can't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can get better at improving our show. Good reviews help us bring better guests on for your listening pleasure, not mine. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.